Today we're talking about Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets. So I saw this movie yesterday. It was okay. Okay, it was not that great. You know, with with the course on very quick. It had a 51% and 47% Rotten Tomatoes. I don't really listen to Rotten Tomatoes anymore after they gave a certain movie at 80%. And you know what movie I'm talking about. But yeah, this movie is basically about these two people, these two operatives who basically have to operate in the human territories and stuff. You know, basically they have to, and basically at the beginning of this movie, this planet gets destroyed, and these people had to escape because these guys were greedy. I think this shows this movie was trying to show like humans are bad, but they're not bad. That there's good and bad, but there are movies that do that way better than this movie. You also have like these but scenes, and you have some decent battle scenes, basically. But the one I can see why this flopped because there isn't really anything that's interesting about the movie. And as far as this is based off a book, of course, everything is based off a book. Even like the movies that you don't expect to be based off a book are still based off a book somehow because when people say Hollywood can't think of any original ideas, this is just proof of it. They just everything they put out is like based off of a book or something. Like, come on, Hollywood, think of something original for once, okay? Think of something original for once. Not everything has to be based off some book that comes out. I know it's easier to base a movie off a book to come up with something new, but I can have like probably 4 or 5 new ideas how I would, but of course my ideas would probably flop you know, now because it's not based off a book, so it doesn't really count, and blah blah blah. But there we go. So this movie's alright. The story is okay. Basically is basically about these two people. They don't really like each other because they have problems with each other, but they like each other, but they still have problems with each other. It's like, and also some of the characters in the movie are like this exist in the world. There's also these characters that are trying to be like the next minions, and they failed. Okay, but overall, this movie is alright. I now I really didn't like some scenes in this movie either, so I can give this movie like a 6 out of 10. At least the acting's okay. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as Captain Marvel's acting. Or Dark Phoenix or one of those other movies. It's an alright sci-fi movie, so if you like sci-fi movies, you'll still like it. The CGI is still pretty impressive as well. So, yep, that's basically it. Goodbye.